All right, if you're looking to invest in the Iranian consumer market, you've got to understand something crucial. Your most valuable asset and your most volatile one, it's not the rial, it's trust. So in this explainer, we're going to break down how that trust gets built, how fast it can just evaporate, and what all that means for your bottom line. Let's get right into it.
So take a look at this guy. This is Pejman Jamshidi. You might not know him, but in Iran, he's huge. He's a former football star who's now this incredibly beloved actor. And his face, it just screams approachable, funny, and honest, you know? It's a vibe that really connects. So for a brand like Shahar Farsh, that City of Carpets, he's not just some celebrity they hired. He is the face of trust for the Iranian middle class. He's selling reassurance. He's selling familiarity. And believe me, in Iran, that feeling, it's everything.
And this quote, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. In Iran, fame is collective, but accountability is personal. Think about that for a second. Using someone like Jamshidi gives you this massive opportunity because everyone feels like they know him, like his fame is theirs too. But, and this is a huge but, when things go sideways, the blame, the fallout, that becomes intensely personal for him and for any brand that's tied to him. This is the tightrope you're walking, and it's what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so let's get into Section 1, the trust economy. To really get a handle on this market, you have to understand a fundamental concept. It's called the trust deficit. And look, this isn't just some marketing buzzword. It's a deep-seated social dynamic that influences pretty much every single decision a consumer makes.
So here's how it breaks down. On one side, you've got official institutions, think government, big corporations. There's a lot of skepticism there. Their messaging is formal, corporate, and frankly, not very trusted. But then on the other side, you have these beloved celebrities. They have this powerful emotional connection with people. They feel reliable. So for you, as an investor, what does this mean? It means a celebrity isn't just a marketing gimmick. No way. They are the bridge you need to cross that trust deficit.
So how does this influence actually work? What's the magic formula? Well, it really comes down to these 4 pillars. First, there's that high emotional connection we've been talking about. People often buy with their heart. Second, the trust deficit. We've covered that. It's the foundation. Third, and this is a big one, is cultural moralism. Fame is tied directly to how virtuous or good a person is seen to be. And finally, number 4, community amplification. Think of social media as a public square where reputations can be built up or torn down in a matter of hours. You put all that together and a celebrity's fame becomes something tangible, something we can call emotional capital for your brand.
All right, Section 2. This is where it gets real. We've talked about how valuable an asset like Pejman Jamshidi's reputation is, but now we're going to look at what happens when fame turns fragile. We're going to see just how fast that multi-million-dollar asset can turn into a critical brand-killing liability.
I mean, just look at the speed of this thing. It's breathtaking. Within 1 hour of some serious allegations hitting the internet, the crisis is on. 12 hours later, hashtag Pejman Jamshidi is trending across the entire country. By day 2, the brands that have his face plastered everywhere are getting tagged, they're getting called out, they're right in the middle of the firestorm. This is not just a PR problem, folks. This is a 5-alarm fire. It shows you the insane volatility and the kind of risk you're exposed to when you pin your brand on someone else's reputation. So that brings us to Section 3, the high cost of silence. And we're talking about the real, quantifiable commercial fallout here. Because in a high-context culture like Iran's, what a brand doesn't do can be just as loud, if not louder, than what it does. And in this case study, the silence from these big brands, it wasn't seen as being cautious or neutral. Nope, it was seen as guilt by association, period.
So let's put a number on it. We're looking at a potential 30% drop in online engagement, just from all the negativity. That's a huge immediate hit. But you know what? That number, as bad as it is, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The real damage, the long-term cancer for your brand, is the erosion of trust. That emotional capital we talked about, it's gone. And that is so much harder to measure and 1,000,000 times harder to ever win back.
And this table here breaks down just how specific that damage is. See, the scandal wasn't just some vague cloud of bad press. No, it was like a targeted missile that hit the exact core message each brand had paid millions for. So for Shahar Farsh, built on tradition and craftsmanship, suddenly their authenticity is in question. For Charlevazim Khanagi, the brand for modern families, their whole family values message now sounds completely hollow. The very thing that was their greatest asset, it turned toxic. It literally poisoned their brand from the inside out.
Okay, we've spent a lot of time analyzing the risks, looking at how it can all go wrong. So now let's shift gears. Section 4, the new playbook. This is the actionable part. For anyone seriously looking at this market, this is your strategic guide for how to navigate this incredibly complex, emotional landscape and how to build a brand that can actually survive it.
So here are 5 lessons you need to burn into your brain. 1. Align on values, not just faces. Don't just pick someone who's famous, pick someone whose values genuinely match your brand's. 2. Prepare for emotional crises. Have a plan in place before it hits the fan. 3. Diversify your emotional anchors. This is huge. Don't put all your eggs in one celebrity basket. Lean on community stories, micro-influencers, other things. 4. Speak up. We saw what silence does. Don't do it. Have a voice. And finally, number 5, build moral consistency. It's not about one campaign. It's about what your brand does day in and day out. That's how you build real, sustainable brand equity.
And this new playbook, it really points to where the entire Iranian market is heading. You know, the old model, just find a famous person, slap their face on a billboard and wait for the money to roll in, that's dying. The emerging model, especially with the younger generation, is all about authenticity. It's about micro-influencers who feel real. It's about creating a genuine emotional connection. The consumer is getting way smarter, and they can smell borrowed, inauthentic fame from a mile away.
And really, if you take away just one thing, let it be this. Fame might get your foot in the door. It'll open a lot of them, for sure. But in Iran's emotionally intelligent marketplace, it's credibility, and only credibility, that keeps those doors open. Getting that big name might give you a short-term boost, but the real, long-term value, that's built on a foundation of authenticity. And trust me, in this market, consumers can absolutely feel the difference.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to wrestle with. In a market where emotion is the real currency, and where the relationship with your customers is almost personal, how do you insure your brand against a broken heart? Because the biggest risk you face isn't losing money, it's losing that emotional connection. The real challenge isn't just managing risk, it's building a brand that's strong enough to survive heartbreak.